The upcoming new moon in Leo is going to be a super creative one. So if you've been thinking about what you want, bringing things into your life, this is the time to do it. It's also super creative time, perfect time to work on creative projects. And let's talk about what's going on with these astrological configurations around this new moon and how to make the most of them. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Sunday, August 13th, and we are talking about the new moon coming up this week on August 16th. So it'll be on Wednesday, and it looks like about 2:37 my time, which is US Pacific time. So if you're converting for your own time zone, you want to compare your time location online to Los Angeles is a good major city to use for US Pacific time. So you can do the calculation, figure out where it will, when the exact new moon will be for your time zone. And anyway, regardless of the exact time, these energies are with us. We're feeling them. We are doing collectively this conclusion of we're right now in the ending phases of the previous moon cycle, which began with the Cancer new moon on July 17th. So with each moon cycle from new moon to new moon, we have a particular quality, a particular theme that we focus on. And this one is, so we're going from the previous one in Cancer, which was a focus on emotions and caring and getting our needs met, how to take care of ourselves, how caring in general, how we need to care for ourselves and the world and the people we love, and all of it, caring in general. So now what happens is we shift from that Cancer energy where we're feeling things, we're tuning in with our needs, we're thinking about self-care and working on deepening our self-care practices so that we're being more effective at nurturing and nourishing ourselves and recharging our batteries. And then we go to the next moon cycle, which begins with the Leo new moon. So we move from that inward place of feeling things and focusing on needs and emotions to the outward expression of who we are. And that's the energy of Leo. Leo is radiant, shiny. The zodiac sign Leo is ruled by the sun. So the sun is by far the largest body in our solar system. It is the only body in our solar system that radiates its own heat and light. It's all the other bodies are, basically balls of minerals, these rocks that orbit around the sun. So the sun itself is shiny, it's radiant, it's expressive. And so Leo energy has to do with that solar type expression. It's about, this is me and I'm going to shine and share and radiate outward. So Leo energy likes to be seen. Leo is looking for an audience. It likes to perform. It likes drama. So again, it's about how those feelings that we experience internally need to move outward. And so how we express it, how we express what we feel and who we are and what we want to share with the world. So this upcoming Leo new moon is going to be an opportunity to do that. And it is also the beginning of the next moon cycle, where just like with the Cancer moon cycle, we'll be kind of having this theme evolving and unfolding throughout the month. Next month's theme will be self-expression. So think about your creative projects. Think about what it is you need to say and and do and share in the world. So finding your truth, connecting with that, expressing it. What does that look like for you? What does it mean for you? Where do you want others to see and recognize and feel what it is you have to offer? So Leo energy, and then throughout the Leo moon cycle, we'll be focusing on on how to develop that. So more of a sense of working through the moon cycle and the process of unfolding, developing some of these themes of creative self-expression, how to do it more authentically, more effectively, more powerfully, more from your truth, and to have more fun while you're doing it. Leo is about having fun, being in the world, and being seen for who you are. Leo can also be about ego stuff, right? So there can be imbalances in everything, and the imbalance of Leo might look like being too full of yourself, being needing to be the center of attention, or like a drama queen type thing, because it's that impulse to be seen and heard. So watch for, maybe some imbalances or some ego things that might be showing up with you or with the people around you. Some needs that are being expressed very outwardly. And just shift some awareness can help you shift those to thinking more about, well, what is it about me that is trying to express itself? What do I need to share? What am I afraid to share? Where do I need support? How can I better take care of myself so that I can share the things that I need to share to feel healthy, happy, and whole? So your own everybody has a creative pathway, and some of us do art, some of us do music, some of us experience creativity through our work, some of us play with children, some of us, creativity shows up in a million gazillion different ways. So we're thinking about creativity for the upcoming month. And the other pieces about this particular Leo new moon that we're focusing on is, and why it's particularly focused on manifesting and manifesting abundance. So it's also about obviously expression and moving outward and doing things. With Leo's a fire sign, so that's a focus on action. But we also have a Grand Trine in Earth. And a Grand Trine is when three planets form an equilateral triangle in their angles with each other. So what the three planets in this case are Pluto and Uranus forming a trine with each other. And then we also have Mars in the third position, creating that Grand Trine. And this Grand Trine is going to continue for a few days. So it's rather a significant one, and at least in this, time period that we're in kind of currently. But also it's significant because it's creating an imprint for this Leo new moon, and it's casting a tone, giving a quality to the Leo new moon that brings in this energy of Earth. And Grand Trines are good for manifesting. They are good for supporting whatever it is we're putting in motion. Now, on the downside, of course, if you're not consciously putting something in motion that you want, the good qualities that you want, you might be accidentally, I guess, unconsciously or incidentally putting in motion something that is not ideal. So be aware of what it is you're focusing on, what it is you're giving your attention to, your consciousness to, because that's going to be facilitated. Whatever it is going to be enhanced and facilitated, and have this opportunity to manifest. Earth energy is about manifestation. It's about the physical world. So it's about how thoughts, ideas, feelings, beliefs show up in our lived experience, in our reality, in the world, in our physical experience of the world. So that's what manifestation is. And earth energy is about the physical world. So when we're thinking about manifestation, we're thinking about having things crystallize to show up in our lives. So if you're calling in abundance, you know, what you want to show up is well, you know, for many people it's money, right? But it might be material things, it might be whatever it is you want. But at deeper levels, what's really going on is you want that feeling. You want the feeling that the abundance is going to bring you, or the money is going to bring you, or whatever it is. It's that feeling of freedom, of spaciousness, of ability to do things you want to do, whatever that is for you. So I invite you, as you're thinking about manifestation, to bring it into that deeper place of, why do you want that? You know, because you don't really just want money. Money is really essentially meaningless. It's all the things that we can do with money that have meaning. So think about what you want to do with it, why it makes you feel better, and how you can focus on wanting the qualities that it will bring you, that those feelings of freedom, etc. So that's a thought about manifestation. And with this creative Leo energy that we have around this new moon, we also have, so the sun moon come together. That's the definition of a new moon. We also have Venus in Leo, very close to the sun and moon. So we have that quality of Venus here as well. And Venus is the planet, it's a very receptive planet. So it's a planet of receiving. It's we think of it as more the feminine side of the masculine feminine dynamic. If we are thinking about masculine energy as being more proactive, more logical, more outgoing, and feminine as being more receptive, more relationship oriented, more feelings oriented. So Venus is more of that feminine energy. And again, I will just restate, it has nothing to do with your gender. We all have masculine and feminine energies inside of us. We all have planets that represent those energies inside of us. But the planet Venus having that receptive energy kind of plays into this whole picture that we're talking about of creativity, self-expression, manifestation, seeing things show up in the physical world, in our day-to-day realities. So coming back to put it all together, this particular new moon has a extra emphasis on support for moving things outward, calling in the things that we want, manifesting things we want that feel important to us. And we're going to be focused on how do we express ourselves. So creativity, let me just talk for a minute about what creativity is. We think of creativity as, you know, painting or drawing or singing or things like that. We typically tend to associate it with art, which, by the way, is very much supported by this new moon, because Venus is the planet of beauty and aesthetic and things we value. So bringing in this quality of Venus also makes this a very artful new moon. And so the word creative means to make something that wasn't there previously, right? So when we create, we're bringing something in, calling something in, making something. Sometimes we're just literally making it. Like if you were making a pottery pot, you're putting your hands on some material and you're making it, you're creating it. Sometimes a creative process feels much more abstract or esoteric. You know, I don't know what I just did or where that came from, but, you know, it was my creative process and I just suddenly got this idea or this inspiration and I went with it, and I don't know how that works, but here I am and I'm in my flow and this beautiful thing happened. So creative and being creative can be something that makes logical sense, or it can be more sort of in the flow, I guess, more sort of following the inspiration that it's in. It really comes from a place of mystery. So something we have more control over, or something that's just more about letting go. And that's both ways are ways of being creative. But this particular new moon is really focused on how we create. So supporting our creative process, which again can be things we want to make, putting our energy into art, into writing, poetry, music, gardening, whatever it is that's your art, putting energy into that and seeing what comes of it, seeing what is emerging from your own creative process. And we're also thinking about asking for the kind of things we want to have in our life, right? So that's another kind of creativity. When you're creating, you're inviting in synchronicity to say, that's the, when we talk about manifesting abundance, that's what we mean. We mean, how can you get in alignment with who you need to be receptive, to be open, to be in the flow, where you are aligning yourself with qualities of receiving. And that helps you to synchronistically experience shifts in things that you might want to receive. And again, I think money is a pretty simplistic way of thinking about it. There really are so many things you may want to receive. Maybe some reconciliation with a family member is what you want to receive, right? That has value and would benefit your well-being and the greater good at the same time. Maybe your idea of receiving is about having something work out that's currently a challenge or a struggle in your life, and having it have more ease and flow, or have support for something that's important to you. That's another kind of manifesting. So in order to really make the most of this new moon and this creative manifestation energy with with the Grand Trine in Earth, the Leo new moon, the Venus in Leo, asking us to go inward, right, with Venus retrograde. I've been sharing about Venus retrograde in some recent videos. What we want to think about is those deeper places of what is it that we want to receive? What would bring value into our lives in a deeper sense, right? Not the superficial stuff, not the simplistic answers, but at a deeper level, what feeds you, what is going to bring more happiness, wholeness, wellness, joy, creativity into your life. And so asking for what you really want is a key to this process. And just to touch on, like, there's this idea of manifestation being something that can be really simplistic. Like, if you just ask for what you want, or you just wish for it, like somehow it just happens. And I talk a lot here about how to align with the outcomes that you want. And so it really, it's not just magic. It's not just wishing and then boom, it appears. It's really like getting yourself into the place you need to be, which involves the body, mind, spirit, emotion. That's why we have all the planets, all the zodiac signs, all the parts of ourselves that they all need attention at different times and focus at different times to support us in what it is we want to manifest. And so during this Leo new moon, the invitation is to ask yourself, what does creativity look like for you? And when you focus on your creative process, how do you best support yourself? And then thinking too about how that can, how you can choose alignment in your life that will support you in manifesting the outcomes. And part of the manifestation process is letting go of the exact form that those outcomes will take, because what you're calling in is a deeper kind of synchronicity. It's like an alignment where things start to roll in the right direction. So that's what you want to align with. And sometimes you have to focus on your thoughts and shifting negative thinking, reframing negative thinking to something that's more supportive. You know, if you're limiting yourself through your thoughts, saying, no, I'm to this, or this can't happen, or this will never work out, those are limiting thoughts, and you need to open and shift those to possibility. You know, I don't know yet how this is going to happen. Maybe this has a positive, you know, perspective on it that I haven't seen yet. So kind of opening to shifting your thinking. Shifting your thinking emotionally. You want to support yourself in processing any feelings you have that might be holding you back, right? Unprocessed feelings sometimes keep us stuck in some old ways of being and manifesting some things that we don't want as much. And then, you know, so thoughts, feelings, our beliefs, wherever those beliefs come from, we limit ourselves through our beliefs about what is possible. And then connecting spiritually, surrendering to a bigger picture, allowing, trusting the universe, things like that are all important. But we also have the need to take action when action is called for, when it's appropriate. We have the need to communicate, right? You can't just expect things to magically happen. Sometimes you have to physically talk to someone and ask for it and find the right words. And sometimes you have to keep trying over and over to find the right words until you are able to convey what it is you're trying to say, or listen more deeply to what somebody else is trying to say that maybe you couldn't hear because you had your own limited view of how things work. So all of those, that's a lot that I just talked about. But the point is that all of those pieces can contribute to our manifestation, our creative process. And it's what I talk about in these daily videos, is how to align with the current energies. What are the energies of the day? Where is the moon on any given day? And how is it asking us to align in a particular way? Because some days are going to be more focused on action, some are more focused on feelings, etc. So follow me and hit the subscribe button for more information on how to work with the energies of the day. But this upcoming new moon is really going to be a seed time in terms of anchoring some of our intentions, which is good to do on every new moon, but in particular, kind of connecting with some of those deeper feelings, some of those deeper levels of what is important to you and why you really, you know, not the superficial stuff, but at the deeper places. What are the qualities that you're wanting, but also, you know, maybe there's something that you really are in the process of healing in your life, and this thing that you're wanting is actually calling you forward into and through your own healing journey, your own hero's journey. And so we're going to be starting this new moon cycle. We're going to be focusing on these questions of how do you express yourself? How can you express yourself more authentically? What is your creative process? How can you support your own creative process more fully? What do you need? Building on the self-care of last month's moon cycle and the Cancer energy and what you learned last month about your needs and how to get them met. So now you have that foundation. That's why we have Cancer first and then Leo, is because now you have that foundation of a deeper understanding of what you need and how to get your needs met, so that now you can share and express yourself and do the things that you're here to do and share them and put them out there. I always recommend with a creative process that's more vulnerable, more something more true to you, that you start small, right? Like you could do it in your safe space, just in your own private. You don't have to share it with anyone, right? Whether it's drawing or painting or singing when, when no one else can hear you. Whatever it is for you, start in that safe private space, and then share it when you're ready. Share it with somebody you feel safe with, someone you trust, and then see what they say. And then you can process any feelings that come up around that, because sharing is very vulnerable. So taking care of yourself and feeling whatever feelings come up, and then you can continue to expand your sharing from there, and till you're really putting it out there. And if you have a more of a Leo makeup, right? Some of us have a lot of Leo in our charts. And if you are really, if that's kind of where you're coming from already, and you're already just like naturally a performer, naturally on stage, naturally comfortable with sharing, then it's also good to ask yourself, what is it you're sharing, and is it really coming from your truth, or is it coming from someone you think you're supposed to be, right? Some of that performance can show up that way. So again, it's always about being more authentic, because when we're more authentic, we are taking care of ourselves at deeper levels. We get our needs met. It's healing. It contributes to wholeness. And it contributes to creating a better world, because when we're sharing and expressing our truth, we can make a difference in the world around us in ways we may never even know. You don't know how you might impact that person you talked to in the grocery store, or that client that you saw that, never was able to tell you what kind of impact you had, but it truly did have an impact. Or whatever else it might be, in the ways that you're showing up as yourself, and the ways that makes a difference in the world. I'm Marina Orms. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing. You hitting that subscribe button gets you daily videos from me about what's happening in these moon signs, daily moon signs, and daily vibes, Astro vibes for unshakable self-care. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. I have 2 books out that you can check out at astrologyheals.com, and they're both about this manifestation process. So check those out if you want to get a little deeper and work through that for yourself. So thank you so much for being here, and for all your comments and sharing with your friends and getting the word out. And I'll keep showing up here to share with you every day what's my truth and what I have to express, and how it can be helpful and supportive to all of us as we are working to make this world a better place. And it is working, so we got to keep at it. So keep doing it, keep being you, keep taking care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Happy Leo new moon. Bye for now.